Let me know when. We're good? Hello, hello, hello. Jordan Sheridan live. Another election day here in the United Corporations of America with.
Jen Dies. Hello, folks.
We'll let more folks trickle in before we get to this amazing report here at a bustling polling place. You win some, you lose some. But where we are right now, the numbers seem relatively good if you're someone who wants Nina Turner to win tonight. So smash that like button so more people can see this. Thumbs up button right under the live stream. We are at a local church here in Collinwood.
No. So this is Ward 1. Excuse me as I smooth down my dress. Hopefully nothing embarrassing happens on air today, folks. Share this stream. But we are here in Ward 1, which is where Nina Turner represented when she was councilwoman. And this is specifically the Collinwood Nottingham district. And right now, even more specifically, we're in Nottingham.
You sure we're live, Colin? Hello, hello, hello.
Kyle, me live.
Yeah, I'm checking.
So I don't see it.
You're live everywhere. YouTube is lagging behind. You're live now.
Oh, okay. I'll do that again. Jordan Sheridan.
Jen Dies.
We are live here in the what area?
So this is Ward 1, which is where Nina Turner represented back when she was councilwoman. More specifically, this is the Collinwood / Nottingham neighborhood, and even more drilled down, this is Nottingham. So we're here at a polling site for this special election.
And we'll wait for more people to come in. Smash that like button. It's a thumbs up button right under the live stream. We are currently less than 3 hours away from the polling places, polls closing here in Cleveland. Giant cross behind me, as you can see. So we're at a church. I'll wait for more people to come in. Yeah. Ooh, my gut looks so big. Smash the like button. Share.
You never know what random thing Jordan's going to say that's just not on topic, which makes it more fun to watch. So smash the like button, share this stream.
So again, polls close here at 7:30 Eastern time. This polling place kind of, obviously people are inside voting, but kind of steady traffic coming in and out, not like crazy a number of people coming, but that could potentially pick up as we get beyond 5 o'clock. More and more people get off work. It is a special election, so it is not expected to have massive turnout. But looking at the numbers now, it can mean different things. But the numbers, if you are somebody who wants Nina Turner to win, look fairly optimistic, which I'm going to get to in just a minute. We'll also say that, as Jen and I talked about earlier, the establishment kind of made one last-ditch effort to paint Nina Turner as a, communist, socialist, Russian Jill Steiner. I don't really think that was going to work because most of the people in this area, Cleveland and Akron, aren't on Twitter, so they weren't seeing the tweets about Nina Turner. We don't know for sure, but potentially voting for Jill Stein in 2016. With that said, want to come live?
What are you doing?
We're talking about the election.
Yeah, just
getting the pulse of the people. We're Status Coup. We're on YouTube. Don't be suspicious.
I think I'm going to pass.
Okay. So that's a voter. Don't know who he voted for, but seems like a nice fella. So we're in Ward 1 right now. Ward 1, there is, I believe, 12 wards here in Cleveland.
There may be more.
Oh, let me check, actually. I have it in front of me. Hold on.
And if it looks like I'm not paying attention, I'm actually sending out social media notifications at the same time here.
Yes, so there is, 12 wards. 12 wards. Oh, no, excuse me. I was incorrect. 15 wards. There's 12,
That means I was correct.
12 on the east side and a couple on the west side. But we're in Ward 1, which is where Nina Turner served as a council member when she was a local council person here before she became a state senator. And right now, of turnout numbers, Ward 1 is the highest by a lot. So right now, a little over 17% turnout in Ward 1. Now, argument's sake could be made, well, we don't know if all those people are coming out for Nina, but a viewer of ours, this is why it's valuable to be on the ground, a viewer of ours, a wonderful one, Scotty's Italian.
Very nice. It was lovely, absolutely wonderful. Let me make sure that so Scotty's Italian Eatery in Cleveland, 882. I don't have the exact, road spot, but if you're in Cleveland, check it out. It's very delicious.
Yeah, so he emailed us, said, come on over. He owns the restaurant. It was very nice to let us eat there, gave us a free meal. Anyway, he was saying this neighborhood is Nina's base. So we're in Ward 1, again, where Nina served as a council member. And turnout-wise, it is at 17%. You might say, Jordan, that's not that great. Well, it's a special election, so it's a low turnout anyway. But if you look at the comparisons, Ward 1 right now has 17.2% turnout. Ward 2 has 11%. Ward 4 has a little under 15%. Ward 5 has a little over 5%. Ward 7 has a little over 11%. This has the highest turnout so far. Ward 1, 17%. So that's pretty good if you're a Nina supporter, because Ward 1, from what we're told, is kind of her base.
Absolutely. Let me get to this mic when I finish sharing around.
Yes. Howdy.
Hi. We do.
I was just saying that. This Ward 1 is the highest so far, 17.2%. Ward 8, we got 12.6%. That's not a good thing?
Do you want to come on?
We could interview you from your car. Okay.
Oh, well, then we'd love to have you on.
Pitiful as in not... Yeah.
We're independent. We actually just came from Scotty's Italian Eatery. He treated us, and so I know your signs in front of his establishment.
I have to do it over there because I can't be within certain distance.
Got it. Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Will do. Thank you.
Over there right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to interview a councilman. So, again, he was saying pitiful in terms of the turnout, but, I mean, it's a special election. Like we've been saying, you just don't know. A lot of people aren't even aware that it is there's an election. So we'll see. So what we're going to do, because we're pretty high tech, we're just going to move the camera while we're live.
So this is a councilman who I don't know. Sorry, yes, I forgot about the mic. This is a councilman who I don't know, but I assume is more in line with the Nina Turner policies, because his sign was also along with Nina's in front of this restaurant where we know the owner is a Nina supporter. So we'll see.
Move into the country, we're going to eat a lot of peaches. So, again, we're at a local church here. A councilman just drove by, so we're going to go interview him. We're moving far away because election law, you can't be within 100, 100 feet. Bill Clinton didn't care about that in 2016. So we're going to go interview this fine councilman. Hold on. Smash the like button. Share this live stream so we can get it out to more people. Apparently the councilman's going to sit in his car. Hello, sir. Oh, great. Come on over.
I am a senior member of the city council.
So, Councilman Polenzek, Michael D. Polenzek, Ward 8.
I'm the
I'm the senior member. So tell me. So wait a minute. So Ward One. Ward One always has a good.
Hold on one second. So we got Ward 1's at 17.2%. Your ward is at,
I got them all listed there.
yeah, Ward 8 is at 12.6.
Who's the lowest?
Looks like Ward 5.
The mayor's ward.
Yeah, 5.5%.
Tell you that.
So what does it say to you that this ward has the highest? Because this was Nina Turner's ward when she served as a city council member.
No, she wasn't. And this is not here. She was in Ward 1.
Oh, this isn't Ward 1.
No, this
oh,
is
interesting.
Ward 8. This is
Then why did he tell us Ward 1? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. This is Ward 8, and I serve with Nina in City Council. A fine person. I have a good relation with Nina and Chantel, both of them, both fine women, and but I'm assuming, you know, based on what I've heard in this northeast side, I would assume they were more leaning toward Nina. That's my read on it. Now, again, at the end of the day, I might be wrong, but that's what I heard when I was out at neighborhood meetings.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to tell because it's a special election, not a ton of polling. It's a low turnout affair.
What is really troubling with the amount of advertising, the ads on every time you turned on TV, and to have this low of a turnout should worry everyone. But I attribute it to voter suppression activity that took place in the city of Cleveland. If you go back 10 years, the last time that there was redistricting in the city, a lot of that was meant to disenfranchise voters. So, and I know that firsthand because I opposed that. I voted against it. And but if you go back 10 years, a decade ago, and you look at the voting strength then, and what has happened in 10 years, only reinforces that there was efforts to disenfranchise voters, voter suppression, and it worked. And it worked. And all of us, regardless of our political party, and I'm a Democrat, and I'm a member of the Democratic Party Executive Committee and a ward leader, all of us have to be concerned about motivating people to come out and to get involved in a process. It's one thing to complain, and it's another thing to get involved in a process and express your opinions, your viewpoints. You know, everybody has that right, and why people would delegate that responsibility or that honor, as far as I'm concerned, that honor to a small number of people to come out and vote is beyond me. I've impressed upon my own kids. I have 5 children to become, you know, active in government, to be concerned. I'm not saying about politics, but to be concerned about what's going on in your community and to vote accordingly. I've never told one of my kids who to vote for, but get involved in a process. And it's just amazing to me in 2021, in light of what we're dealing with in this country and what we're seeing nationally, efforts to suppress the vote and do what they're doing in some of these states. And I tell people in the neighborhood, what's the next thing they're going to do? We're going to have to count jelly beans before we can vote? I mean, it really troubles me. And people have got to come out and realize it's their responsibility as Americans and Clevelanders to express their viewpoint, regardless of who they're voting for.
What do you think about all this outside money that's come in for this race? You got frankly, most of it's for Chantel Brown with big-time super PACs.
The dark money concerns me greatly. We're not only seeing it in congressional races, but we're even starting to see it on other races as well. People are expecting in the mayor's race to be an influx in dark money into this city. Very troubling. It's got to be regulated. You know, I'm the senior member of City Council. People have a right to know who donates to me. They have a right to know that. And so at the end of the day, to have these shell operations and you really don't know who's funding these campaigns as a result of Supreme Court action is outrageous. I mean, they don't have a right to cloak themselves, in my opinion. We have a right to know. If they want to donate to a candidate, stand up and be counted and donate so we know who they are. Dark money concerns me greatly.
You said you have worked with or know both Nina Turner and Chantel Brown. Wanted to ask you, it seems to me, I mean, most of the national media attention has just been based on who will have more fidelity to President Biden rather than issues. I mean, I'm more of a Nina guy myself, but I wanted to ask you, it doesn't seem like there's been a lot of talk about the actual issues in this district. Nationally, it's just been who will be a more loyal Democrat.
And I'm one of those people that I want my congressperson I don't want them to be a rubber stamp. I want them to ask questions. So, because I'm not a rubber stamp in Cleveland City Council. I vote as I think my residents would vote or my constituents would vote. So, I have no problem with quote unquote Nina being defined as that independent individual. On the other side of that equation, I think this way they've cast Chantel Brown, some people, as being a quote unquote rubber stamp or being a part of the establishment, I think that's been unfair too, because I've had an opportunity to work with her from the Democratic Party standpoint, and I think she's tried to do the best job she could in light of all the private agendas that are within the Democratic Party in Cuyahoga County. But I don't want my congressperson to be a rubber stamp, and I want them to ask questions. I want them to hold Joe Biden and Vice President Harris accountable and ask them questions. Why wouldn't we? To me, that I will tell you this. As a senior member, I've been doing this a very long time. I've been involved in politics since I was a kid. I see troubling things taking place, and somehow you can't question anybody. And if you question somebody, then all of a sudden you're labeled. There's labels, all these labels being thrown around at people. It's not good. It's not good for us as Americans. It's not good for us for me as a Democrat to label this one. Well, this one is a shell, or this one is this, or this one is that. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and we need to respect each other's opinion, and then we work together. It's called the art of compromise. We can disagree and still be agreeable at the end of the day.
Well, I say, regardless of label, follow the money. Yeah. So there's been, I don't know Brown's record as much as you do, yeah. But why do you think it is that all these massive Democratic super PACs, Democratic Majority for Israel, Third Way, they're pouring in millions? Is it to support her, or why are they trying so hard to stop Nina Turner?
I think people believe Nina is to the extreme left. I don't believe that. I served with her. She's a friend. I know her family. That's not the Nina Turner I know, okay? I think she's a pragmatic person. And I'll say that to anyone. And whether we be my friends that are staunch supporters of Israel or people on the other side of the equation, I think Nina will be fair if she's elected. I believe Chantel would be fair if elected. But again, these outside sources that are coming in here to polarize, to create an adversarial situation, does none of us good, does a disservice to all of us. That's my opinion and my thoughts.
What do you think? Because nationally, during the Democratic presidential primary, we heard a lot of talk to people in the Midwest. They're moderate. They don't want Medicare for all. They don't want these progressive policies. I mean, Nina's been running pretty unabashedly on Medicare for all.
Right.
She seems in striking distance to win.
She is.
So what are your thoughts on that narrative that people hear, whether it be Medicare for all or other things, are more moderate, don't want those things?
I classify myself as a moderate. But I believe we have a responsibility to take care of people, and with people with their health care needs. We have a responsibility to take care of our elderly and our children. This neighborhood right here that you're in is a predominantly Democratic neighborhood, but it's a moderate. In some cases, might even be considered a conservative neighborhood. But when you get out and talk to these folks, as I do every day, you see people want equity. They want fairness. They want health care. Meaningful health care for our citizens. They want meaningful programs that are going to benefit. We want to start making things in America again. I mean, I hear that constantly. Why can't we make things in America again? Why does everything have to come from China?
The Democratic Party pushed NAFTA, and
go.
The jobs got sold.
There you're right. And my late dear friend Louis Stokes was one of the few members of the Congress to vote against that. And I can remember calling him the day after that vote and thanking him because he was personally lobbied by Bill Clinton. And I thank Lou. And he told me, and just remember what I'm saying, he told me, he said, I hope I'm wrong, Mike, but I fear you're going to hear the sucking sound of jobs going out of this country. And the late, great Lou Stokes was absolutely correct. And that's what happened to our jobs. And you're right. Democrats did that in partnership with Republicans to sell our jobs out. So there's a lot of blame to go around here. Not one party is the root of all evil in this country, I can assure you. Some of our Democrats have done a great disservice to working men and women.
Let me ask you, because I've seen around the country on the city level, I mean, city council I don't, I don't know your background, but city council, boy, do they have nice relations with real estate developers, special interests.
Some do.
You see all these cities being gentrified, nice, downtowns, and then the rest of the city looks like a different city. What's your thoughts? Because I've heard Cleveland too that the city council is not so responsive.
I concur with you. I mean, there's the line in the street. There's Cleveland 1 and Cleveland 2. I live in Cleveland 2, right here. I'm in what they now refer to as a middle neighborhood. Before we were an edge neighborhood, before we were something else. So there is no doubt there is a great concern that I have about developers coming in, getting whatever they want, where you have a single family home, an old single family home, tearing it down, and next thing you know, there's 3 or 4 units stuck in there. The people, working poor or elderly next door who've been living in a house for 25, 30 years, maybe on fixed income, now they can't afford to pay their property taxes because the property taxes have been driven up so high. Rents have been driven up. We have to be very careful. What's happening in Cleveland today, I can tell you this without any fear because I'm just dealing with it this week, we're getting descended upon in the city of Cleveland by limited liability companies from California, from Florida, New York. I'm dealing with people from France, Turkey, Ukraine. I've never experienced this before. They're coming into this community and buying property. And in many cases, they're coming in with cash buying homes. I just saw a house yesterday.
You're saying foreign real estate.
Not only local, I mean, U.S. based, but foreign as well coming in here. I saw a house yesterday that you could not give me this house with $10,000 in my pocket. That's how bad this house was, with a garage collapse, roof, a hole in a roof, siding missing, and an elderly black gentleman next door to me, when he saw me, he said, "Councilman, this house was just sold." I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, "To who?" He said, "From somebody from Philadelphia who just paid $66,000 for the house." I was mortified. I couldn't believe it. This house, you could not give it to me. But see, that's what's happening now. We've got people coming in there. They can pick these houses up for a fraction of what they would pay in other areas. And then they're, in some cases, just schlocking them up. That's the term we use here in the street. And then they're renting them out. And in 3-4 years, they got the house paid off. Right. And so we got to be very careful. So I just spoke to the housing court judge, in fact, over the weekend, saying we have to have a meeting, all of us in city council and in city administration, with I hope a new administration, in your office, we got to sit down and figure out what's going to be the strategy with these limited liability companies. They're coming in here right across the street from my son. House went up for sale, less than a week, gone. Outside buyers. Well,
if they're LLCs, they're probably not paying taxes to Cleveland either.
Well, the fact of the matter is that the question, are they even going to pay their property taxes? Because we're seeing these companies coming in, these absentee owners buying properties, they're getting subsidized rent, and then they don't pay their property taxes. Well, how is that allowed? How can you get, so I've written Marcia Fudge, who've had a good working relationship, saying this is an issue HUD needs to start looking at. If you're not paying your property taxes, why should you get subsidized rent? As an owner, you should not get subsidized rent. There are a lot of issues that we have to collectively look at. I'm a street, I do this full time. I call myself a street politician. We have issues, and if we don't start paying attention to those issues, neighborhood issues, we're going to see that gentrification. We're going to see working men and women forced out of their neighborhoods. We're going to see elderly put in very bad situations, which is not good for our city and our country. I see it. I experience it. I hear it from my residents, and I'm committed to doing what I have to do here. Because this is my home. I've never lived anyplace. I've lived on the east side of the city all my life. I was born in what they call the Glenville neighborhood, and my mother moved us out into what we call the Collinwood neighborhood here when I was a kid. So I've seen it all. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. No one has served longer than me in city government, in Cleveland city government. I'm it. You're looking at the fossil, okay? You're looking at the man who served longer than anyone. So I've seen the good times, the bad times. And now I'm really concerned, and that's why I'm hoping with the new administration coming in, mayor, yeah, working with our new congressional person, whoever that may be, to start to address these urban core issues, which are not being addressed. Right. They are not being addressed. And so there's some legitimate criticism, and I think it's legitimate when I see some of the right wingers stand on national TV and say, well, look at every Democratic city, da 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 da, look what's going on here. Well, you know what? Let's take heed of that, and let's start figuring out what is going on in our cities, what is not being adequately and properly addressed. We need to come together and address those issues. And sometimes it's very troubling to me why they're not being addressed. So in the course of this mayor's election, one of the things I'm asking the mayoral candidates, what's your game plan? What is your game plan for middle neighborhoods? What is your game plan for Cleveland 1 versus Cleveland 2? The Cleveland 1, the corporate guys want Cleveland, downtown Cleveland, to be a sandbox where they can play during the day or on the weekends. And then they go home to nice suburbs with great school systems and police protection and everything they want. But then Cleveland 2, we have to contend with poor services. We have to contend with a lack of police enforcement. We have to contend with absentee landlords who don't respect our neighborhood. That's got to change.
You sound like a Nina guy to me.
Well, you know what? I like Nina, and I stayed out of the race. I did not make an endorsement because I knew both of them. And another friend of mine was in that race, Jeff Johnson, who was a housing court administrator who I work with all the time. And I didn't want to get into, I didn't want to create ill feelings and problems, not only basically for my community. It's not about me. I work with these people. And so whoever is elected, I'm going to do whatever I can to help them. And if it's Nina, I know her well. I know Chantel less, but she's a wonderful person in my opinion as well. And I think, it's going to come down to one of those two. We'll know at sometime, tonight. I think we're going to know very quickly with this poor turnout. Yeah. I'll be honest, going back, I'm shocked because I don't know how long you guys have been here.
Well, I think part of the problem also, and I've seen this in other races, is a lot of people don't even know. They aren't even aware there is an election.
But how could you not?
If you're working multiple jobs, raising kids.
Are you living on freaking Mars? If you turned on a TV or radio, you heard Chantel or Nina's commercials. Unless you're just brain dead and you don't pay attention to what's going on here.
Unless you've been left behind with this economy, you're cynical and you say, screw it, I don't want to vote.
Yeah, and you know what? And I understand that. I've had people tell me that, why vote? Which really troubles me because I keep thinking, see, what do I say to my own kids? We owe it to the people who lost their lives defending this country, and we owe it to the people in the civil rights movement who were beaten and denied basic rights to go vote. We owe it to them. We owe it to the people who followed Dr. King and what happened in the South and not only all over this country, and the people who lost their lives defending us in our military. We owe it to all of them. And for some reason, people don't get that. And I find that troubling. I think of what Dr. King and those civil rights workers went through for the basics, the basic dignity. And so if I had to crawl, this is where I vote. If I had to crawl to get in there, I would do it, just in memory of those people. That's how I feel about how important voting is.
Let me ask you, I know you're friends with everybody here,
Yeah.
but there's a legitimate issue that if Brown is elected, there's been allegations of financial impropriety.
Yeah, I've heard
The Ethics Commission is looking at it, that potentially government contracts went to her partner. Are you concerned that if elected,
I'm concerned about those allegations. I'm very concerned about that. Because again, I'm one of these people who believe in transparency. There has to be transparency in government. We're not there to do the bidding of individuals or businesses or corporations. We just saw that in this state with HB 6 and how our Ohio legislature was basically bought for by the First Energy Corporation. I have a real problem, and I'm hoping those allegations are not true. And that's all I can tell. I know nothing more than like everyone else, what I've seen and what I've read. Other than that, I have no inside information.
And lastly, the progressive movement, I don't know, you say you're moderate, but the progressive movement knows Nina Turner as this firebrand, went around the country for Bernie Sanders. But you know her from her time here, where she did kind of work across aisles at times. Can you kind of tell the audience, if she's elected as Congress, is she somebody? Yes, she will fight and play hardball on some things, but do you think she would also be pragmatic and make deals?
I think she's very pragmatic. I know she was a staunch supporter for Bernie Sanders. I voted for Bernie Sanders when what was that? What 4 years, whenever the heck it was that he ran, because I thought he got a raw deal out of Hillary Clinton and company. I thought him and his supporters were treated miserably, and so it was out of that I voted for him in the presidential primary. I think Nina is my experience, and again I worked with her. I believe she's very pragmatic, and she'll work across the aisle. But if there's something that I believe that is troublesome, that she doesn't believe is in the best interest of her constituents and in the 11th district here, that she'll vote differently or express a different viewpoint. And that's what I want. That's what I want. I can't speak for anyone else, but I want someone who is going to show a little bit of passion. I want to show somebody, I want to know their blood is flowing. They're not dead. They're just not going along with the flow. And I think that's part of the problem. I think too many Democrats in this country, especially office holders in Washington, have gone with the flow. And that's why we're in the jackpot we're in today.
I also think too many candidates, Brown and others, just slap a picture of her with Obama and Biden and hope, that will be enough for voters.
It's not enough for me. I can tell you that right now. That is not enough for me. And I believe anyone who pays attention to politics and really cares about this country, I mean, you can slap all the pictures you want. And on the other side, same. Nina standing with Bernie, same thing. I mean, I don't look at it that way. I look at what you're going to bring to the table and what I think you can bring to the table. And so I think she'll be independent. She'll be a firebrand, which, damn it, we need that. We need some firebrands but we also need people who understand Lou Stokes said to me a long time ago, I was very close with him. He said, never forget who you represent and never forget who sent you there. I've never forgot that. And I believe Nina, my read is that's the approach she's going to take. She's not going to forget who sent her there or who she represents. Lou never forgot about it. And I'll never forget that NAFTA vote. And I'm looking forward to whoever is seated and as our congressional rep is going to not forget about that, because they better remember there's another election coming around the corner very quickly, and this district is going to change. The boundaries of this district are going to change. So there's no guarantees in anything here. You got to be in tune with your constituency, and if not, then you're not going to find yourself in a very pleasant situation. So that's my read.
You sound like the last of a dying breed of non-corrupt public servants. So thank you.
Well, you know what?
I'll have to check your donor list later, but
check my donor list.
Yeah,
I don't care who donates to me. Whoever donates to me understands this: when you donate to me, you don't own me. You donate to me because you think you believe I'm going to do the best job, or you can be able to pick up a phone and talk to me, just like all the rest of my constituents here. But nobody owes me. Nobody owes me, and that's my P. And that's why I've been reelected overwhelmingly 11 consecutive times, and in my last election here with 87% of the vote. I mean, I got elected to serve. I didn't get elected to get rich, or to become to build a law practice or a real estate business or or a insurance business. I got elected to serve, and the problem is in our country, we have too many people who get elected and then forget who they serve. They forget what they serve. They want to go to parties. They want to get wined and dined, and it's not good. It's not good. And when we look at the problems in this country today, I want to go back to what I said earlier. They're man-made. They're man-made because people forgot who they represent. And if we can get back to that, we're going to be a lot better off in this country, and we're going to start seeing jobs here again, good quality jobs in America again, and our people are going to have opportunities, and our kids are going to have opportunities. Too much despair, too much poverty. Cleveland, I'm ashamed that Cleveland has the #1 poverty in the country, and #1 or #2 in childhood poverty. Yet we brag we got 3 great sports complexes downtown. We got three quality sports complexes, and we got multi-million-dollar athletes.
How many working people could afford to go?
They can't. They can't go to. They can't even go to They can't go to the games. I know that firsthand. People call me all the time. Councilman, can you get us tickets or da da da? No, the bottom line is here is that. So we built that Cleveland 1 and 2. And 1 just does not understand because they want 2 to pay for everything. I mean, they want Cleveland 2 to pay for everything. And it's amazing to me, these guys are billionaires. And they can't take it with them. We come in the same way and we go out the same way. It's just mind-boggling. You would think that in Cleveland, this city should be manageable. We're under 400,000. If these corporate guys stepped up to the plate and these corporations, what a difference we could make in this city. My God, what a difference we can make. But it's like you got to hog tie them and you got to beat them up. And even then, they still don't. It's like somehow they can't see the reality that is out here in our streets.
I think they see it. I don't think they care, the corporations.
Well, you're probably absolutely correct. I mean, does Jeff Bezos understand that his people are overworked and underpaid? The richest man in the world? I just ran into a young lady in the neighborhood. She said, she said, working for that place is unbelievable. She said, they treat us like dogs. She said, it's terrible working there. And here's a guy, he can't pay his people a living wage and can't create better working conditions for his employees, but yet he can fly up in frickin' space and then thank his employees for it? Give me a frickin' break, will you? Give me a freaking break. No.
Councilman Michael Polensik, 11-time champion here. Thank you very much.
So
appreciate it.
From?
I'm from New York. We're from everywhere. We've been on the road.
Maryland, close to DC.
Yeah.
Good. Hey,
Oh, there's our guy. We
guys just told me they enjoyed your food over there.
We did. So yeah, we go everywhere. We're going to Flint next. There's an ongoing water crisis, as you know, that the media is ignoring. So we kind of cover what the corporate media does not.
What news outlet or who you with? Status
Coup.
Status.
We're on YouTube right now.
Of the corporate media, so we started our own company to report on what.
I got news for you. The local media is part of the problem too.
But local media is owned. Yeah. Who advertises on the local media? Who advertises in
Bezos.
Right. Who advertises in the local papers? So you think they're going to, in the day where you had some form of independence, at least I like to think there was, that is history. That doesn't exist anymore. So if it isn't for independent news outlets and news coverage, heaven help us. Heaven help us. So they want to take out PBS, as we all know. They'd like to eliminate funding for PBS and everything else. I mean, come on, give me a break here, man. Americans wake up. Americans wake up. American citizens wake up and pay attention to what's going on in their own country, and we'll be a lot better off. A lot better off. We will be, and there'll be some leveling of the playing field. I want to level the playing field. The older I get, I'm in the twilight of my political career. I've served 43 years in public office, public service. I don't have 43 years left in life. But the fact of the matter is that you get the government you deserve. You get the government you deserve. And unless people really understand that, nothing will change. So I'm praying and hoping that people will understand that they have to take an active role. And so I wish whoever wins tonight the very best. I'm going to congratulate them and pledge my support to them in every which way I can help them. Because I see what they're going to be confronted with and the challenges. And whoever the winner is tonight will be descended upon by the people that you've just talked about. The backslappers, the pat you on the back and tell you you're fine, or if you pay attention, or if you play ball, everything will be fine. And as a very prominent businessman said to me many years ago, patted me on the back, if you play ball, kid, you can go places. And as I was going down in the elevator from his executive office, I said to myself, if I listen to this guy, the only place I could be going is prison. I could be going to prison, because he thought somehow by ingratiating himself and patting himself, and I was council president of the city council at that time, patting me on the back saying, if you play ball, you can go places. I'll never forget that. I never went back. Never went back to see him because I knew exactly what his game plan was. He wanted to ingratiate himself to me and, in essence, own me. And I wasn't going to be owned by anyone. I'm not owned by anyone, and I'm not going to be. I came in a councilman. I'm going out a councilman. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Yes.
The audience,
Councilman Michael Polensik, right here in Cleveland. So let's look at the time here. We got almost 2 hours till the polls close. Almost 2 hours till the polls close. Apologies, at the beginning of the live stream, I said I was in Ward 1. We're in Ward 8. But let me give you the updated numbers because it's pretty substantial in terms of the turnout in the ward that Nina Turner used to serve in. So Cleveland's got, by the looks of it, 15 different wards, which are basically the districts and neighborhoods. And right now, Ward 1 has the highest turnout at 18.1%. So that's Ward 1. That's where Nina Turner served as a council member. And, from what we were told, that's kind of her base. So Ward 1 has the highest turnout at 18%. Obviously, that's, not a high turnout, but compared to the other wards, the second highest turnout is Ward 4 at 15.3%. Come on down, Scotty. So this is Scotty. Scotty's Italian. Full disclosure, gave us a free meal, so I appreciate that.
I thought you were just going to end it at he's Italian, full disclosure.
No. That too.
I'm not Italian. That's disclosure. I'm Hungarian.
But Scotty's Italian, very good meatball sub and great service down here in Cleveland. So talk to me. Polls close in 2 hours. You seem, you got a Nina sign in front of your restaurant.
More than one.
Why is Nina winning so important to you?
Well, I started. I was introduced to Nina in 2016, to be honest with you. So everything that comes out of her mouth, I support. She's for everything that I, believe in, and I'm just 100% on board with Nina Turner. So.
And I was talking to the councilman about just the sheer volume of money that has been poured into this race. Super PACs, Democrat for Israel super PACs. Apparently, they're very interested in what goes on in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. What does it say to you that the national establishment is pouring in gobbles and gobbles of money, to stop her?
Well, I think it's because that she supports all the issues that they don't really want passed. I think that for a long time the Democratic Party has been playing this game where they talk the talk, but when it comes to walking the walk, they're not there. And they seem to be taking this money from the same people that the Republicans are taking money from and playing this game. Time has come that, I'm one of those people that believe in a third party. I think we should start looking at a third party because the Democrats have let us down. And, until we form a third party and put that pressure on the Democrats to invite us to come back into the party and offer us the things that we really want, Medicare for all, $15 a wage, endless wars. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but, hello somebody, and I'm here to support Nina. I think that she's one of those people that, are missing from the Congress right now. We need that real Democratic support that I don't seem to see,
Nationally, the progressive movement's been very, a lot of cynical Susies these days. They think everyone's a sellout. They're frustrated with the squad, so they're kind of preemptively thinking Nina will let them down too. No politician should be worshipped. She's got to be pressured just like the next. But, why do you think she's somebody that could be trusted to go in there and fight, particularly fight against the Democratic establishment?
I don't. I mean, I felt like this when AOC was running, and now look, AOC's running away from questions about Medicare for all, so things change. right now, I think Nina Turner is, you know, the bomb, and she will go there and fight for these issues. But you never know. They go to Congress, and they you know, people get changed, and the establishment is pretty powerful, and they've proven it time and time and time again that, you know, no matter how much you believe, that they find ways of getting you to change your vote. So
I also think what she's been doing now kind of shows a little fight because, you know, frankly, Bernie, for everything he did for the progressive movement, always seemed to kind of, you know, avoid going for the jugular.
Right.
Called Joe, you know, my friend Joe here,
Right.
you know, had this fantasy, oh, I'll just run a good campaign, positive. Nina's been going on the air pretty cutthroat.
There have been many opportunities where Bernie has had the opportunity to walk the walk, and somehow, some way, he just not there.
Right.
So it's kind of weird that he got us all aware of these issues and opened our eyes to how progressive we need to be, and then when he's in charge and he has the power, he doesn't seem to, you know, be able to come through, you know, or follow his movement is stronger than he is now.
Right. And I also think, you know, Bernie did the 3.5 trillion that they've agreed to, the reconciliation package, is Bernie's doing. He's the one who got him to that number.
Right.
However, he did say, you know, get rid of Trump, fight Biden on day one. We're still waiting for that fight, I'd say, from Bernie. Real quick, on this election, Cleveland, I was talking to the councilman.
Yeah.
I mean, Cleveland, like the rest of the Rust Belt, has been gutted. I mean, NAFTA, deindustrialization, gentrification. There's, you know, downtown's lovely, great restaurants, great bars. The rest of the city, you know, there's pockets that are nice, but it's very, very high poverty. Can you kind of talk about what are the top issues that you want to see addressed if Nina wins, or even if Chantel Brown wins? What are the top issues that need to be addressed here?
Medicare for all. That's it. And I also am a firm believer in $15 minimum wage. And personally, I think Medicare for all, if that was passed, that would solve a lot of other issues that we have. They're just kind of things would just kind of work themselves out. I mean, so that to me is the most important issue of our time right now, and we need people to fight for that. Mm-hmm. You know, there's a lot of things I'm for. I'm for the ending all the wars. I'm for making the rich pay more in taxes. I'm for bringing jobs back to America. You know, so I believe in the democratic issues of the old Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm. FDR.
Yeah, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, best president we ever had. So
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Scotty's Italian. Go check it out right here in Cleveland. Great food, better service. Thank you, Scott.
Hey, you're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
So let's see. Yep, we're under 2 hours now. 2 hours till polls close. Like I said, I mean, listen, who knows? Polling is not so reliable in a special election. There hasn't been a lot of polling. But hold on. Biden to announce new eviction ban due to COVID spread. So that's very positive. Oh, and Biden called on Governor Cuomo to resign. So all positive things. Devil will be in the details what that eviction ban looks like. Before I went live, I saw some cockamamie. It'll be based on counties with high COVID cases. No, we need an eviction ban. The money, you want to talk about local government, the money, there's been billions and billions of dollars sent to state governments. I don't know what they're doing with it, but they're not sending it to landlords that is supposed to be payment for tenants. And by the way, thank you to Biden for announcing an eviction ban, and even more thank you to Cori Bush. You know, people are still ranting at Cori Bush. Were you sleeping on the Capitol steps for the last 5 days or whatever it was? This would not have happened without Cori Bush protesting and her, others getting more people to the steps. Ilhan Omar was out there. Ayanna Pressley was out there. Jamal Bowman was out there. AOC was out there for a little bit. So I know it's not enough for a lot of people, but Jesus, take a W. Don't complain about everything. Like, okay, she should. Yeah, oh well, it was just, you know, some people were saying it's just a photo op. Well, it's a damn good photo op then, right? Because she just got the president. She shamed the president. She didn't mince words. She went after Biden and the Democrats, and she shamed them. and she got it in the news. The media wasn't covering the eviction moratorium. They don't give a fuck. Excuse my French, councilman. So they don't care. So Cori Bush got this done. Now, let's see what it is. To me, it shouldn't be carved out based on COVID cases. It should be a national eviction moratorium. Frankly, they need to stay out on the Capitol and change it from a moratorium to cancel the damn rent. We print money for war in this country. We just printed more, $25 billion more for the already astronomical and immoral defense budget. Just print the money. Don't pay the states, pay the landlords directly. They didn't have a problem giving money directly to the banks when they bailed them out. So why is it such a big problem to give the money directly to landlords? It could be done if there's a will. But instead, they had to do this bureaucratic nightmare of sending billions to state governments. Well, I've seen this dance before. Money is earmarked, it goes to state governments, and somehow it doesn't end up with the final destination. It gets diverted in many cases to nonprofits and real estate developers and all this. So we'll be at the Nina Turner event in a little bit here in Cleveland. Could be a victory party, we'll see. But, you know, as far as I could tell, and from what I've been hearing, hasn't really been any major shenanigans or anything major going on. Again, Ward 1, where Nina Turner served as a council member, right now has the highest voter turnout, so that's positive. That doesn't necessarily mean good for Nina, but from what I've been told, that's her base, Ward 1. So right now, that has the highest turnout of all 15 wards let me refresh, at 18.4%. So that's good. If you want Nina to win, the highest turnout is in the ward she represented. I'll also say by the numbers, so far 35,000 people have voted in Cleveland. I'm talking about Cleveland right now. We're not talking about Akron. Akron is part of the district, and Nina has done a lot of campaigning in Akron. So we're just talking about Cleveland numbers here. But right now, on Election Day, over 35,000 people have voted, while over 26,000 were absentee ballots. So Election Day numbers are more than the absentee ballots. So that's a good sign. Let me see what people are saying in the chat. Wow, 619 people watching. Holy cow. By the way, and thank you for the super chats. If I missed any, I apologize. By the way, we're very close to 2,000 Status Coup members. 2,000 Status Coup members. Before I went live, we were at 1,917. I'm not great at math, but I believe that's, what is that, 83? Yeah, 83 members away from 2,000. So support in the field reporting. There's a lot of people bloviating from the comfort of their studio. We're actually out there reporting in the field. We're going to Flint, Michigan right after this to continue covering the ongoing, water crisis that the media has long abandoned. We broke a massive story 2 weeks ago on the cover-up, the Flint water crisis cover-up. If you haven't read that story, you have to read that story. It's at the top of my Twitter, at Jordan Sheridan. We found evidence that former Governor Rick Snyder's top officials, their phones were erased, their text messages were erased. Snyder himself refused to hand over documents. So we're going to Flint after this to cover that ongoing scandal and cover-up. And, this is an important election tonight. I know, I'm not reading the comments. I know there's a lot of, dead earthers right now who just want to burn it all to the ground. It doesn't matter who the person is. They're all sellouts. They're all frauds. They're all cowards. If they have a D next to their name, I don't care. Listen, I'm not here to worship Nina Turner. She's a politician just like the next. She has to be held accountable. She has to be pressured. And if she gets in there, you're going to have to, because, no politician's going to do what you want 100% of the time. If that's what you're expecting, it's not realistic. But I think from her track record, she has shown she's not running on Medicare for some. She's not running on Medicare for, what did Pete say? Medicare for all who want it. She's running on Medicare for all, not equivocating. We've been watching her television ads here, every campaign event. I know she didn't go to the rally. Okay, well, she was at her own rally talking about Medicare for all. So we'll see. And I think this is a real, I don't want to overstate it. It's not, if she wins, it's not like the progressive progressives taking over the country. But I do think it's a good bellwether, because if she wins, it does really knock that corporate narrative. Oh, progressives can't win in the Midwest. Midwest people don't want health care. They don't want Green New Deal. If she wins here, she would have won on Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, and strong progressive policies.
I just wanted to give some shout outs to supporters. As you guys know, the super chats fall off the screen pretty regularly, but I can shout out Elijah. Thank you so much. Saying much love, Jordan. Thanks to you and all of Status Coup for focusing on the needs of the people. That is what we're all about. That is part of why we are going at great cost. We're a small, very independent, we're totally viewer funded. We're going to Flint next because we broke this major investigative story showing the complicity of Governor Snyder in covering up evidence and withholding evidence from prosecutors related to the Flint water crisis.
That the media has not covered in 2 weeks.
And due to our reporting, which you can find in The Intercept and the Detroit Metro Times, they co-published, the House Oversight Committee is now investigating. So we are going to Flint. We are going to further shine a spotlight on the people. Remember, Jordan has been going since 2016. I've been many times myself. The people, we've interviewed some of these folks several times, spoken to these folks a lot over time, over the years, because the effects of lead can take years to show up. We now sometimes have to interview folks from bed because they're no longer able to be up and about. Some of the strongest fighters. So that's why we're going to Flint. If you can help us, whether it's super chats or other ways, we have... Yeah, membership for sure. But we have right now a page, and I'll set one up for Flint later, but it all works the same. statusquo.com/Nina Turner. You can find a donate button there, as well as behind the scenes footage and videos, including from Bernie Sanders and Nina and Keith Ellison and Cornel West. And we have a ton more behind the scenes stuff to upload there. As well as for members, statusquo.com/join, and you'll get there's already some really great behind the scenes content, not published anywhere else, behind the scenes Bernie, BRTB. So statusquo.com/join. Shout out also to Prismatic for the super chat. We appreciate all of you who have left super chats. Oh, Denise Hartle left 2 amazing super chats. We appreciate you, Denise. And we will be live later on from Nina Turner's results party.
Yeah. And by the way, just to address one comment I saw, Jordan, you can't win a rigged primary. Okay, well, first of all, this is a special election. Secondly, we'll see what happens. Nina Turner might win. By the numbers I'm looking at, she has a very good chance of winning. And number 3, I'll just say, for the people, because I've said for a while, Jen and I understand people's anger. We understand your cynicism, your frustration. I'm pissed off. I'm cynical. We're the ones going around seeing this corruption and misery, environmental genocide, the economic Hunger Games. We're seeing it up close. We're talking to the victims here all over the country. So we're just as cynical and pissed off as the next person. But, okay, what's the choice then? Is it to just bitch and moan on the internet and rant and rave that everybody's a sellout and everybody's a fraud and everybody's a coward? Or is it to actually get up and do something?
I don't think that what Biden is scheduled to do today regarding evictions happens without Cori Bush being on those steps for those 4 days. And she was taking a very short rest. It was going to get right back up there. So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't think that happens without her. Yeah.
And by the way, to the naysayers that are still, oh, it was a photo op, and oh, it doesn't matter, and all this, ask yourself.
She's been homeless, guys, with her children and her baby, like a baby. Can you imagine living in your car with a baby as a mother? She cares.
But I'm asking you guys who are saying that, and it's not everyone, not every person has lost their mind, but what do you want? On one end, you're complaining that these folks aren't doing anything and they're not fighting. And then when they do something and fight and actually force the president to basically extend the eviction moratorium that the Democratic Party was very, very, not at all upset about ending. Their real estate donors have been barking at them to end this eviction moratorium so they can start kicking people to the streets and making money again. Then when they do something, it's not enough. So you got to make up your mind. If you're just going to be a nihilist and complain no matter what, then it's not productive. And I get the complaints, but there's actually good ways to use your anger rather than just on the internet ranting. You can protest. Nobody's saying don't protest these politicians. Go protest. I just covered a protest outside AOC's office. I thought the speakers were great. They weren't ranting that she's a fraud and a sellout. They were saying, you told us you're going to do X. You haven't done it. So we're here demanding you do it. And we want to stand with you. We want to fight with you. That's the way to do it. Hey, how many people are organizing economic boycotts right now? I know there's something coming up in October, a one-day general strike, but how about in your local community organizing economic protests? Because trust me, they'll listen if you affect the donor's wallet. So I think there's more constructive ways than just, everybody tweeting how terrible everyone is and how everyone's corrupt and how everyone's a sellout. But anyway, this election, Nina Turner's having what they hope is a victory party. I believe it starts at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, so we'll be there. It's a special election. I believe the results won't take that long because I don't think I know it's not a huge turnout. So we should know the results tonight. We'll see what happens. I don't have a crystal ball. Usually I have a good gut instinct, but I don't have a strong instinct just because it's a crapshoot. Really what it comes down to, who knocked on more doors, who made more one-to-one contact. That we know because we've been here. By far, Nina Turner has a stronger ground game than Chantel Brown. So we shall see.
Yeah, we just got an email with a great reminder. We did talk about this earlier, but thank you, Jeremy Elwood, for reminding us to really emphasize this. So Flint is switching its water source again. So Jeremy is saying everyone I spoke to, including myself, are frighteningly nervous about this. So can you imagine? This is what sparked the Flint water crisis, which again, the Flint water source was switched on April 25th of 2014. And they did not take the proper measures. Things were rushed through due to privatization, due to money, due to a lot of corrupt reasons, not due to any concern for this majority black poor city. So now, because of supposed valve, so they eventually switched back to Detroit Water, which did of course not correct all of the issues because the pipes were corroded and messed up at this point. But now they're switching back due to valve issues with the pipe that connects to Detroit Water right now.
Yeah, no big deal. You poison the people, then you tell them the water's fine, even though the people are telling you no, the water's not fine 7 years later. And we're going to change back again, but it'll be fine. By the way, just to reiterate, so we really are making it clear, we just broke, to me, the biggest government cover-up of the 21st century. If Watergate didn't have a president, this is bigger, okay? We found evidence that the former governor of Michigan, who, by the way, is about to face pretrial criminal charges, that his top officials, their phones were mysteriously erased right before the launch of a criminal investigation. I don't know. I don't erase my phone if I have nothing to hide. Top officials' messages were gone for the key periods during the Flint water crisis. I don't know. I don't erase my text messages if I have nothing to hide. Snyder himself would not hand over key documents for 3 years, we found. So this is not small scale, raise an eyebrow. This is multi-layered government cover-up. Like Jen said, Congress is now investigating based on our report, and we can't get the national media to cover it. We can't even get the Michigan media to cover it. So we're taking it on our own.
Yeah, there's a complicity of silence.
Yes, we're taking it on our own accord. We're going to Flint. It's a couple hours from here. Talk to residents, talk to them about the cover-up, talk to them about the water being switched again. As we've always said, make no mistake, this is not just about Flint, Michigan. If you think this kind of stuff isn't happening near you, it might not be water in your case, but privatization efforts in your community, shady financial deals in your community, because Flint was a shady financial deal that led to the water crisis. So we're excited to go there. And frankly, here, I don't know. It's been pretty invigorating seeing the energy. Nina's had people all over the country come in, knock doors. You've had that same kind of Bernie energy from 2016, 2020. It is really, really invigorating to see that
Well,
when
because it's people who care about policy. Obviously, there's a sort of celebrity that comes with Bernie Sanders now at this point. Same thing with Nina Turner, who in her own right has attracted quite an audience. But for the people who are on the ground and who really care, this is about policy. So it's been very refreshing to come from like the terminally online to the actual people on the ground who are doing the work, who aren't being nihilistic, and who are actually getting things done. That's been a huge, huge refreshing change.
I got to get new sunglasses. I look too much like Biden. I've decided. Okay, so
Shout out to new Status Coup member Nick Battle. Woohoo, Nick! StatusCout.com/join, and you'll get behind the scenes Bernie videos, candid stuff with Bernie and Cornel West, stuff like that. So StatusCout.com/join, just $5 a month.
And by the numbers, I think we're now 82 members away. 82 members away from 2,000. I see over 600 people watching right now. So 82, 600. I know, tough times for a lot of people. If you don't have the $5 a month, we understand. If you got $5 a month, we're not telling you what we're going to do. We're showing you. We're on the road. There's still a pandemic, by the way. Cases are soaring. We've both been vaccinated, but particularly her, have really bad COVID symptoms still, long-term, long-haul COVID. So we are out during a pandemic trying to show you what's going on, give a microphone to people you will not see on CNN, you will not see quoted in the New York Times. It costs money. There's 3 of us, hotels, rent-a-car, food, all that stuff, equipment. So please support us, $5 a month, or, you could just watch people ranting.
Shout out to those who've supported us through our statuscoup.com/Anita Turner page, which is a fundraiser page where you can support our trip, help defray the cost of our travel. Again, we are completely viewer funded, beholden to no one but the viewer. So shout out to Andy Paperno, Alex. It's a little slower because I'm on my phone, guys, so bear with me. Cheryl, amazing. We appreciate you so much. David Melford, thank you. So keep it coming. You guys are amazing. You're making this possible. You, as I always say, have a hand in this reporting. You have a hand in Flint reporting because we could not do it without you. So statuscoup.com/Nina Turner if you prefer, GoFundMe.com/statuscoup or PayPal.me/statuscoup. And it goes to a good cause, which is real on-the-ground reporting in the style that nobody else does it.
So we are going to head out. Make sure you're signed up for our text message list so you'll get a text message when we're live from the election event tonight. I believe it starts around 7 o'clock Eastern, so we'll be live from Nina Turner's election event here in Cleveland. We'll see what happens. As of now, to me, it's a crapshoot. I don't know who's going to win. I think Nina Turner is in pretty strong position to win. So we will be there live in probably an hour or two. Less than 2 hours we'll be live. So please, again, support us like Jen said, or become a member, statuscoup.com/join. And we will see you in a little bit live right here on Status Coup.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. It was nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate talking to you.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
Thank you.
So any changes in the number